Hey there, my friends across the Western Pacific. I wanted to address a lot of the questions some of you have been asking. Of course, out here in Guam, we're very closely watching. Now, Tropical Storm Mawar was officially upgraded by the Japan Meteorological Agency, so it is named. But not only its impacts here on Guam, which they're likely going to see typhoon conditions, but where could it head after that? And I'll get to that in just a second, but let's first talk about the storm itself, because it is strengthening, it is organizing a bit here. We have plenty of inflow coming in from the south. You have your low level center right in there, and the tighter that low level circulation gets, the better the guidance is going to be on this storm system. And at least at this time, JTWC really kind of in line with the GFS and the ECMWF as far as the impacts on the Mariana Islands, having it move off here towards the north, passing over Guam, Rota, and Saipan with winds up to about 150 to 170 kilometers per hour, over 100 miles per hour, if you will. And you just see the overall broad circulation of this moving off towards north, kind of getting hooked up with this passing trough coming just towards the south of Japan. You have all that inflow wrapping in like that, so that's going to impact the Philippines as well. This is stuff we've been talking about for about a solid week now. Now, the big question is, where could this go after it passes Guam? Because the guidance has been differing. And now, do want to quickly mention, as far as impacts on Guam, starting Monday evening, you're going to start to really see those winds increase out there. Tropical storm strength winds, especially into Rota. It looks like that's where the right front quadrant is probably going to be. But if this edges just a little bit further towards the south, as we know, that changes the game. Especially if the storm system does rapidly intensify and tightens up. Wherever the eye wall hits, that's where the biggest impacts will be. It will be heading into Tuesday about midday through the evening that I think the biggest impacts in the most heavily populated areas will be on Guam, and that will be along the west coast as those winds wrap around and start to push back on shore. And you could even see some low-lying flooding due to some onshore wind and maybe even a bit of a storm surge there. Before, by the time we get into Wednesday evening, the bulk of this does start to move off towards the west and conditions will begin to improve. Let's take a look at the broader picture. We got that trough towards the north. We have our inflow coming in from the west, and that's all going to create that threat of the rainfall out here. So let's break this down a little bit more so here. And now we're really going to get into the nitty-gritty of what I'm talking about here. Well, first off, I like this graphic. This is the microwave imagery as far as the moisture is concerned, because you can really see that big tail that I've been talking about for days, that it's going to feed into this increasing showers from Palawan to Mindanao to Visayas. And also along that tail, we could see a broad circulation even try to develop as we look ahead into, let's scoot this ahead actually all the way out to about Friday right here. Here's your inflow back there towards the Philippines. See, here's our storm system. This is with the ECMWF guidance, and it's rounding the Westpac high back here towards the north. That's big old high pressure off in that direction. Now the GFS, very kind of similar, but it has this a bit stronger, rounding that Westpac high. Now let's say that high weakens a little bit and this troughing back towards the north, not as conducive to pull this. That could bring northern areas of the Philippines back into the picture here. But what I'm more concerned about, even if that doesn't take place, look at the broad circulation here. Look at the inflow. That is several days of rainfall. That's passing right over Manila based on the latest guidance from the GFS. So even if we don't have a landfalling storm system, guys, that inflow would definitely be causing all sorts of problems here. Now, somebody said, hey, this is a great time to show the SpaghettiOs. I like using this. And yeah, look at this, the GFS SpaghettiOs. This is the ensembles. These are all the different members within the global forecasting system. They average together. That's what you get for when we show you, our pretty picture here, right? All right. So that basically has the storm going over the Mariana Islands. There's no question there. But then let's scoot this ahead. And whenever we're looking at long range, this is great because it shows you basically confidence in the model. And the good news for the Philippines at this time is none of the guidance shows this coming towards the west and impacting the Philippines. The ECMWF does have some that kind of pull it off in that direction, I'll be honest with you, but the GFS does keep it towards the north. It's more of a southern Japanese islands a problem, and then it finally gets hooked off there. Now, if that high pressure, like I mentioned, starts to ridge in and changes things up a bit, then this would obviously edge further towards the west. But at least at this time, it does look like this is going to move towards the north within that gap, hit a high pressure area and pull towards the west here, out towards the southern Japanese islands. But if that high pressure increases, then we're going to see it kind of come like this towards Luzon. And obviously, if it weakens and vice versa, there's a lot of variability here. But basically, Western Japan, all the way down through Taiwan and northern Luzon, but especially the southern Japanese islands, that's where we need to be keeping a very close eye on through that extended forecast as far as impacts are concerned. By the way, and you can be one of the first people to know this, if this enters right about there, based on what the GFS is saying, then that means we would likely have a named storm system here from Pagasa. Now, does that mean it would make landfall? No, I'm not saying that it would make landfall. Just saying that would mean we would have a named storm system because it would enter the Philippine area of responsibility. I think the biggest impact is going to be that inflow, though, for the Philippines and that threat of flooding due to the persistent rainfall that could take place over several days. Right now, though, our all attention, of course, is on what's going to be happening out here in Guam. Our friends out there, the National Weather Service there has been doing a fantastic job. I think that's one reason I probably don't get a lot of hits out of Guam. I know there are a bunch of you that do watch, and you always comment a bit down below. You always let me know, hey, more attention on Guam. Let me know if you are watching from there. I'm going to make sure I give you guys more information about exactly what we are expecting with this storm system. But, yeah, the Guam National Weather Service, yeah, they do a fantastic job and keeping you guys posted on this and letting you know what to be expecting as this storm system pushes on by. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know down in the comment box below. I have another video update. It's a little more fluid, less in-depth as this one that I just released earlier on. So if you want to check out the Westpac Weather YouTube channel, take a look at that and kind of get an idea of what we're seeing out here. If you want to support it, though, check out our Patreon. Link is down below as far as, giving us some money so we can make these graphics always better. I have several days off this upcoming week. I'm actually going to take some time to fine-tune these graphics. They're fantastic for Metro Weather, Weatherscape, but I want to take some time to make them look a little bit better, especially, in this scenario. I'm realizing that there is an issue right here. When I zoom in, I can barely see Guam. It's there, but it's just not as detailed as I would like it to be. So that's one problem I'm having and something I want to work on. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. Stay safe out there. Tuesday, even over towards Wednesday, Monday night through Tuesday, if you're out here in Guam, Rota, or Saipan, just hunker down. Probably going to have those core systems in place. You're going to be, told to just stay indoors, wait for the storm system to pass, and the buildings out here are built for it. So just be smart, be ready, be prepared, and stay safe. I hope you all have a great, fantastic day.